Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. Tonight, the future of a major Yukon health reform is at risk. The entire board of the proposed health authority has resigned. The initiative, aimed at addressing systemic racism in care, had already been on uncertain ground since the election. Now it's facing a critical turning point. Virginie Ann has our top story tonight.
The 7 members of Wekweèti say they can no longer perform their work in a meaningful or responsible way. The decision to resign comes only a few weeks after the government passed a bill giving it power to pause the health authority's work. CBC learned today that's exactly what happened. Health Minister Brad Cathers ordered the board on April 23 to stop nearly all of its work. I spoke with Stephen Mills, who is now the former chair of the Health Authority. He said resigning feels like a decision the board was forced to make. He said the board was initially confident it could work with the new government. However, Mills described a lack of communication, no meeting with the health minister or the premier over the last few months. He even called the government disrespectful and cold-hearted. It had recently rejected the board's request for a $1.5 million budget, but Mills said the government continued to pay the board to do nothing. He said ethically the board could not accept that. Meanwhile, Cathers told reporters earlier today the government will spend the money budgeted for the board members elsewhere. He said the government is just seeing through its commitment to review the health authority. Virginie Ann, CBC News, Whitehorse.
A man is facing a second-degree murder charge in Igloolik, Nunavut, but many details about what happened are still unclear. RCMP say a 39-year-old man from the community was arrested after a death early Thursday morning. Police were called after a man was brought to the local health center already deceased. Investigators say they believe the death was criminal in nature, but have not released further details about the circumstances. The accused remains in custody and is scheduled to appear in Iqaluit court on June 9th. Nunavut RCMP now say a death in Iqaluit last year is being investigated as a homicide. Police say it started the morning of August 16th when Iqaluit EMS called for help at a home in the city. Officers arrived to find 35-year-old Mosesi Levi Pishukti being treated for serious injuries. He was taken to the local hospital, then medevaced to Ottawa, where he later died. The RCMP's major crime unit has now taken over the file. Police have not said why the case has been reclassified as a homicide, adding they do not comment on ongoing investigations. Nunavut leaders are looking at a controversial idea to keep drugs and alcohol out of their communities, bringing back banishment. As Samuel Watt explains, it's a traditional practice used by some Indigenous communities, now making a comeback as leaders look for solutions.
Because it is killing our people.
Makavik President Peter Atamy wants to put a stop to illegal drugs and bootlegging in Nunavut. His proposal: banish anybody caught doing so.
Where they go, that's at their discretion where they might want to go, but they're not welcome in our communities.
Most Southerners working in Nunavut have housing tied to their contracts, so that's one way of removing offenders. A growing number of Indigenous communities across Canada are turning to banishment. In 2020, the Mississauga First Nation banned a woman alleged to be dealing drugs.
There's been a system imposed that hasn't been serving our needs or our wants.
There are provisions to allow First Nations communities to banish people under federal legislation. Even then, Chief Niganab says the Canadian legal system often fails to recognise those rights.
Any Canadian municipality, can enforce bylaws and other things like that. They have a system to enforce. If you go get your license, you can't, you have to pay the fine there. We don't have those mechanisms, so we have to think outside the box.
But banishment doesn't mean kicking people out as they please. Chief Niganab says it's based on evidence. Mark Gibson, an Indigenous and constitutional rights lawyer, says the biggest concern is ensuring there is a fair process.
It doesn't have to be the breach of a criminal law, it can just be the community law, but there does have to be a process. So when we're talking about procedural fairness,
he's not as worried about challenges to the Canadian Charter of Rights when it involves somebody who isn't from the community.
They don't have any right to be there. And so removing them from that community isn't something that engages any of their rights, other than the right to be sort of treated fairly as part of the process.
Though he says the test is high for someone from the community, but banishment alone won't solve the flow of drugs. Gibson says there also needs to be more health and education campaigns, a multi-pronged approach to tackle a multi-pronged issue. Samuel Watt, CBC News, Yellowknife.
Nunavik isn't the only region looking at banishment as a punishment. 2 First Nations, one in the Yukon and one in northern BC, recently banished a man from their communities. Seth Boss was convicted last week of manslaughter in the death of Anthony Promosic in Haines Junction, Yukon. He's currently in custody awaiting his sentence. Boss is a resident of Lower Post, BC, and the Deludena Council says he's not welcome back. The Champagne and Asiac First Nations also banned Boss from its communities as well as its settlement lands. The community of Haines Junction is on Champagne and Asiac First Nations traditional territory. Northern Affairs Minister Rebecca Chartrand is still waiting on a long-promised review of the Nutrition North program, and it's now weeks overdue. The independent report was supposed to land by March 31st, but that deadline has come and gone. Back in February 2025, then Minister Gary Ananda Sangri appointed former Nunavut Incorporated President Aluki Kutyuk to take a closer look at the program with a focus on transparency and how well it's actually working. Now, nearly a month later, the department says it still hasn't received the final report. The minister's office says it's reached out, but so far, no response. A small landslide along Whitehorse's downtown escarpment forced a trail closure over the weekend. Loose dirt and vegetation slid down the clay cliffs Saturday, blocking a paved path between Hawkins and Hanson Streets. Bylaw officers, parks crews, and RCMP were on scene. That stretch of the trail is now closed to the public. In a Facebook post on Sunday, the city says spring melt is triggering mud flows along parts of the escarpment. Officials say they're continuing to monitor conditions.
Because of how much snow we had this year, there's a lot of saturated soil, and that can start to erode small rafts of vegetation that can fall. So that's why we've taken a closer look, and we'll be looking on a daily basis this week.
Dixon says there's also been debris coming down the escarpment along Robert Service Way, a key route into downtown. But for now, he says the road remains open. A much larger landslide in 2022 forced the city to shut it down and create a detour. Canada is tossing out more electronics than ever. E-waste has tripled since 2000, according to a new University of Waterloo study. So what does that growing problem look like on the ground in Iqaluit? The CBC's Bianca McEwen explains.
In an overcrowded office, Joseph Kanayak Driscoll dismantles a laptop. It's one of dozens he's worked on this week as an Ampere computer refurbisher, helping to keep e-waste out of Iqaluit landfills.
What excites me is actually being able to give out laptops to the community and making sure that the laptops that are completely available to use and still work keep out of the dump, and we can give them out to the community.
This program takes old, donated laptops and refurbishes them to students and people across Nunavut. Bryce So is another refurbisher in the program. He estimates Iqaluit makes around 200 pounds of e-waste a year, and he's seen a big increase in the number of laptops they refurbish, from 100 devices a year to now more than 1,000.
It is a lot. It's honestly a lot to take care of, because we also have to put them into inventory, we have to put them into like a shelf, we have to sort them one by one.
So says the office didn't always used to look like this, but in recent years, more laptops have been donated, with the office now refurbishing 20 to 30 laptops a day.
It's only growing more and more as our Iqaluit's population is growing more and more. Some people just can't afford or procure their own devices, so I'm really glad that we're able to have this program up and running to give them out to those who are in need.
Across Canada, the amount of e-waste is growing steadily. Kanayak Driscoll's advice to combating it in Iqaluit?
Give them down to the next generation of either a family member or a friend or stuff like that. If you have a perfectly good a laptop that can be, 1, repaired, 2, upgraded, you could definitely give that to a friend.
So says he'd also like to see more programs like this one teach people how to refurbish or repair their own devices so nothing ends up in landfills. Bianca McEwen, CBC News, Iqaluit.
Another Canadian is preparing for liftoff, and this one has roots in the Yukon. NASA astronaut Joshua Kutrick spent part of his childhood in Whitehorse, and later this year, he'll head to the International Space Station. Kutrick says his passion for space began early in a grade 6 classroom. He credits former teacher Ted Hoope with helping shape that path.
It's incredible to think, someone you knew when he was a child doing this work. And when Joshua was, named to the Canadian Space Agency in 2017, he's really been working towards this goal for 9 years, maybe 4 years specifically to this mission. But he's been working with NASA for 9 years.
Kutrick and his crewmates are set to spend 6 months in orbit, carrying out scientific research aboard the station. And from space to the ice, another Yukoner is stepping onto the world stage. Whitehorse's Gavin McKenna is headed to the Men's World Hockey Championship in Switzerland. The 18-year-old has been named to Team Canada's roster, and he could be the youngest player on the team. It's a big jump, considering Team Canada is usually stacked with NHL veterans. McKenna spent this past season at Penn State, putting up 15 goals and 36 assists in 35 games. And his rise isn't slowing down. He's widely projected to go first overall in the NHL draft this June. Now he'll get a chance to represent Canada on one of hockey's biggest stages. The tournament runs from May 15th to 31st in Zurich and Freiburg, Switzerland. Ottawa is establishing Canada's first sovereign wealth fund. The move will allow the government to work in partnership with the private sector to finance major projects in areas like energy, infrastructure, and technology. Kate McKenna has that story.
Drawing inspiration from Canada's first major project, the Canadian Pacific Railway, Prime Minister Mark Carney committed to a new initiative he says will lead to more nation building.
Many countries that are blessed with natural resources, like Norway, have sovereign wealth funds. Canada hasn't had one until now.
Carney says the Sovereign Wealth Fund will be a government-managed investment account intended to help finance big Canadian projects for things like ports and critical minerals.
This will be a Government of Canada fund, but more importantly, this will be a people's fund. It will be your fund.
Canada will join other countries, including Norway, Singapore, and Saudi Arabia, in creating such a fund. For now, the government is committing $25 billion.
We would say that this is a good initiative for our nation. We need to have that environment to attract that economic investment, that private sector investment into our energy industry, into our industrial industries.
My sense is things are moving in the right direction. It's a big announcement.
The government says the fund will be run by an independent Crown corporation. Experts warn the details of that arrangement are important.
It needs to be independent management and an independent governance board, or else what you risk is it just becomes a government slush fund.
What you don't want is at any point in time the government to look at them as pet projects financing.
Meanwhile, the leader of the opposition says Carney is using money the government doesn't have.
He's talking about a sovereign debt fund. He wants to put another $25 billion on the national credit card to gamble on a liberal slush fund that will enrich liberal insiders at the expense of hardworking Canadians.
The fund is expected to be a key component of the Carney government's spring economic statement set to be delivered on Tuesday. The plan will also include a way for individual Canadians to buy into the fund, but the full plans aren't expected to be hammered out for months. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Ottawa.
Questions are being raised about the state of mining in the Yukon, with opposition MLAs zeroing in on the Eagle gold mine failure. TJ Deere reports.
the Yukon NDP's mines critic had questions regarding the heap leach failure at the Eagle Gold Mine. The Yukon government says it's implemented 23 of the 56 recommendations issued by the Independent Review Board, but Carmen Gustafson cited a former internal review board member disputing one of the board's findings, that the heap gave way after a slope collapsed, setting off a fast-moving slide carrying cyanide-contaminated debris. The former member suggested the government still doesn't know what caused the failure. When asked if the government agrees with the review board's findings, Yukon's mines minister said the board's independence and the members' qualifications, quote, allowed for peer review to ensure robust outcomes, unquote. Ted Laking added that the government will address all the former board members' concerns by the time they implement the board's recommendations to ensure something similar doesn't happen elsewhere. The Yukon NDP's leader also asked the Premier about the Miners' Lien Act. That's the legislation which allows workers and suppliers to secure a legal claim against their employer's assets for unpaid wages, services, or operating materials. Premier Curry-Dixon said they're happy to consider amendments to the legislation, but that they've also yet to set up meetings with the relevant stakeholders. He also mentioned that the previous Liberal government and its NDP partners didn't work on it. TJ Deer, CBC News, Whitehorse.
Former Nunavut Deputy Premier Pamela Gross is stepping into a new role. She's been named the new Chief Executive Officer of the Kitikmeot Inuit Association. Gross says she's taking on the job with an open heart and an open mind.
We have a lot of mining happening in our region. We have, working with the board and working to bringing new staff on board. There's other areas to work on, projects for the beneficiaries to work on Natiling and Inuit.
The association says Gross stood out as the right choice, pointing to her deep experience in public service. It adds she'll help lead the organization's strategic goals and set priorities for the year ahead. From seed to table, a new hub for northern food is taking root today. The Northwest Territory's first agricultural discovery center has officially opened. Led by the Territorial Agri-Food Association, it's designed to connect producers, research, and education all in one place. The CBC's Tamara Merritt reports.
On behalf of the City of Yellowknife, this Discovery Center is officially open.
The grand opening of the Agri-Food Discovery Center was around 9 months in the making. After receiving questions ranging from how to grow food in the north to what it takes to open a business, the Territorial Agri-Food Association decided to create a space where the information could all be found in one area.
We really focus on the whole agri-food value chain. So this isn't just agriculture and farming, it's not just retailing, it's everywhere in between. Because we know with our limited population that food touches everybody in many different ways.
Visitors can stop in and browse different stations scattered throughout the room, and even play a game that takes players through food production in the north. The Discovery Center will also serve as a place for people to make connections with one another over agriculture, including locals and tourists.
I think it's one more opportunity for visitors to be in touch with what it's like to be a northerner and to learn a little bit more about who we are and how we live and what our destination is about. So it's one more place for them to come and interact with locals and really kind of get a feeling for what it's like to be here and be in the north.
Following the grand opening, the Agri-Food Center is open to the public every weekday from 9 to 5 and Saturday by appointment. Tamara Merritt, CBC News, Yellowknife.
This could be the Hay River Library's last week open for now. The library is set to close its doors on Friday. And tonight, Town Council will decide what happens next. The group that runs the Hay River Library is stepping away at the end of this week. Committee members handle everything from payroll to bookkeeping to programming, and with no one lined up to take over, the library will close with no timeline for reopening. In a statement last week, the committee says the decision wasn't easy, but they believe it's time for the town of Hay River to take on those responsibilities. The town wants to keep the current model and recruit new committee members. Its senior administrative officer says the oversight committee approach works and it's the more cost-effective option. Work has begun on a permanent fish camp in Wekweèti, Northwest Territories. The community has hosted fish camps before, but they've never had a permanent space. When the fish camp is finished, the community can use it year-round for fishing and other cultural activities. I spoke to Lisa Judas when I was in Wekweèti last week about the fish camp. Lisa, as community director in Wekweèti, one of the projects that you're working on right now is a fish camp. Tell me what some of the plans are for that.
Well, right now we're in the process of just planning and just going over the budget of how much we're going to be allocating towards the fish camp and the posters and everything. Just before we do the fish camp, we would just go over the logistics part of the planning.
So we're still in the early stages of the planning.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and I understand as well. So in the past, the fish camp has kind of been moving around to different locations, but you're doing something different with this particular fish camp. Tell me what you're doing.
Well, we hosted the 2 camps at the fish camp originally that was set up to be the fish camp, and we hosted it in the 2 years we hosted it at the culture camp, just because we started in the late fall and it wasn't really ideally to go there with the boat. So it's just like the only way to get there is by boat. So we're thinking about building like a fish camp there, like a permanently one, so that way we're able to host like other on the land programs there throughout the whole year, so we can continue doing our cultural activities there.
So it would be like a permanent fish camp instead of one that kind of pops up every year.
Yes, it will be. Yeah.
Like permanent structure. So tell me what's going on. I understand there's someone in town right now who's kind of starting the process of building that permanent space. What's he been doing?
Well, I just hired him this year to kind of lead the cabin, the making. And so he's just here doing a pre-inspection to see like what kind of materials we need and the location of the cabin. We already have 2 cabins that was built. It was a kitchen cabin, but we haven't done the cabin originally yet. So I was asking him because he has experience and background like in those areas. So I reached out to him and he was willing to come out here to do all that. And so he's here doing that now.
That's really exciting. I mean, I think people across the north know what goes on at a fish camp, but maybe just explain to us what people actually do at a fish camp.
Well, when we set up the fish camp, like there's a setup, like because we have to set up camps, like the tent and the fireplace and like, where the gathering is going to be happening and everything. So we usually just like start the planning and we do that. We haul everything that we need there and we have everybody set up camp there for like about 10 days at least. And so they would just like do like the fishing, like prepping, set it up nets. They're just like, they would do more of like what they need, so that way they don't like commute back and forth to the community. So they would do like a lot of talking about who's going to be doing what and those type of stuff. We have youth elders involved in this type of fish camp, so that way they're able to provide like guidance to us when we do our fish camp.
What difference will it make for the community to have a permanent space, so they're not coming every year and having to set everything up? Instead, they can just go. It's like a, like a house, a turnkey house.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Then so with the cabins, like it's going to be there like throughout the whole year. So we don't have to do more work of setting it up and taking it down and bringing everything back to the community. Everything like whatever that we're purchasing that we can have at the camp will be there. So it's just somebody like, it's just not just for fish camp. It can be used for like throughout the whole year. And other departments can come in and they can utilize that space to do their programs as well.
What are your hopes for this fish camp in terms of its role in culture and keeping culture alive?
Well, it's been happening before me, and so we want to have like to keep our culture alive. That's the reason why we do this fish camp, so that way the kids that are here now, generations, they are able to continue on doing that culture in the future, going forward.
Lisa, Masi, thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you.
And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. We leave you tonight with scenes from the Milo Martin Memorial Meltdown Slush Cup in Yellowknife on Saturday. The event is in memory of 18-year-old Milo Martin, who died in 2022. He was an avid snowboarder and he loved this event, so they named it after him. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a good night.